Okay, so real quick, um, I have to catch you all up on the portion of the vlog where I left off during us moving, and I mentioned to you that I was dealing with fraud. I was supposed to be out by noon, but I asked them if I could extend it. They said, well, you've been an excellent tenant with us. Yes, we'll go ahead and extend it. There has been so much happening. I was crying so much yesterday. I will fill y'all in. I will fill you in. But just think about fraud. So, right at the point where I mentioned to you all that I was going to take a nap. All right, what's up, y'all? She is about to take a 30-minute nap. I received a text message letting me know that my bank noticed some fraudulent activity and they wanted to verify with me if that activity was actually coming from me. So I read the text message and I was like, no, those charges were not mine. And I've never shopped at that particular store. So I immediately contacted my bank to let my bank know that those charges were not mine. So before the bank notified me of these purchases, the thief actually made two purchases. So the first purchase they made was at a hot wing restaurant. I can't remember the name of it. I've never shopped there. So the first purchase was like, I think, $12.98. They saw that that purchase went through. They made a second purchase for $30. They saw that purchase went through. They left and went across the street. I think the name of the shoe place is Hibbett Shoes. So they went over to Hibbett Shoes and picked up like $400 worth of stuff. And at that point, my bank was like, this is not her usual activity. Let's put out a fraudulent alert. So I got the text messages. I jumped up, didn't even take my nap. I jumped up, immediately responded no in the text message. My bank was like, they responded back and said, okay, we're going to put a freeze on your account. And I was like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. I'm moving. You can't put a freeze on my account. I need the money that I have in there. You can't put a freeze on my account. So I called them, and of course, they had to verify everything that I was saying to make sure that I was not the one that was making the purchases. Well, here is my thing, because I was so tired and exhausted from us moving high that I didn't even think about the fact of what I said next made absolutely no sense to them. So they asked me, they said, do you have your card with you? And I said, yeah, my card is downstairs. Y'all, I did not have my card. I couldn't, let's back up a little bit. So as Aisha and I were moving things that day, I needed to stop to the bank to deposit $200 into my bank account. I stopped at the bank, did what I needed to do, and this was a brand new bank in the neighborhood. It had just been built. So I didn't think anything of it, even though my intuition was like, go to a different bank. I didn't feel like driving 30 minutes to the next bank. So I stopped there, deposited my money, y'all, and because of my exhaustion, I forgot my card and left it inside of the card slot. So that's how the person was able to obtain my card and make the purchases that they made. And I realized my card was gone when I was at the the grocery store because I couldn't find my card. And I said, oh, it's probably at the bottom of my purse. I'll just use my other card. This is why I tell y'all, make sure you have multiple streams of income that you're able to access. So I used my other card and didn't think anything of it. And then once I got home, that's when I got notification of fraudulent purchases because I accidentally left my card into the card slot. Well, once I realized that I did not have my card, I called the bank back, let them know what was going on. And at that point, they was like, well, not only are we going to have to freeze your account, we're going to have to cancel that card and send you another one, and you won't get it until 7 days. And I was like, dude, what am I supposed to do with no money for 7 days? And I shouldn't say that I was not going to have any money. It's just that I was not going to have access to the funds that were in that particular account of which I was using for the move. And in order for me to make sure that things were paid for, I would literally need to go to the bank, withdraw the cash out of that bank, and then deposit it into either of the other two banks. Well, the thing about that, I was not near an ATM for either of those two banks in order for me to transfer that money from one account to the next via ATM, because there was no way for me to do it online because neither of the other two accounts was attached to this particular account in the way to the point where I could transfer from that account to one of the other two. So I was in a panic mode. I didn't know what to do, or how things were going to transpire in the way that they should, but God. So I made a post on Facebook, a place that I rarely ever go to, was letting everybody know what was going on. And all I said in the post was, isn't this a blip? I just found out that fraudulent charges were made against my bank account in the middle of me moving, and now my account is frozen. That was all I said, and my family and friends showed out. They reached out. My sisters did nothing, absolutely nothing. But my cousins, my in-laws, which are my sisters, one of my sisters' in-laws, they helped. The brother-in-law's house that we were at, he was helping. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you all so much for doing what you needed to do to help us in this time. I'll be sure to give you all the money back. They was like, no, we are just happy to be able to be a blessing to you. And I'm learning to allow myself, hold on, the Amazon truck is coming. Oh, never mind. So I'm learning to allow myself to be, or shall I say, to accept the blessings that people give to me. Look at this. I like this right here. A nation of immigrants since 1776. Absolute fact, because, which is another reason why it pisses me off that this current administration is doing everything that they can to get rid of any immigrants that are here, knowing good and well they are products of immigration. And now, as well as his wife and children. I'm even a product of immigration, which is by choice, meaning those that came over here freely, as well as those that were forced to come over here. So how are you going to sit here and try to send people away from this country when the land was stolen? So yeah, but anyway, so as I was saying, my family, they did their thing in helping me monetarily, and I didn't ask them for the funds. They just gave it to me because that was something that they wanted to do. And I'm learning, like I said, to be the blessing. I'm learning to allow people to be the blessing that God has allowed them to be. So, I went through that, and the bank eventually refunded my money. I think it took like either between 14 to 21 days, but they definitely refunded me my money. and my card arrived 7 days later. I had that shipped to my daughter's bonus mom's house, and when it arrived, she let me know that it was there, and I went and got it. And yes, she and I have that type of relationship. I mean, we like tight with each other. So, and it's been like that from day one. We've never had any beef with each other at all. So, yeah, that's pretty much what my story of dealing with fraud is all about. And I'm just glad that God blessed me in the way that He did and allowed me to have people in my life who were willing to be a blessing to me in the way that they desired to be a blessing to me. So yeah, that's my story on dealing with fraud and getting over it. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to thumbs up the video. Be sure to leave me a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Turn on your post notifications if you have not done that already, so that you're notified each time I post lovely videos like this. You guys take care, and I will see you on the next one.